everybody. So this is gonna be my very first video, where you hear my voice. I'm speaking in a closet with a mic that is not so great, and yeah. So, the Five Nights at Freddy's movie. We have all been waiting for this for 7 years, we've been excited, and now it's finally coming to fruition and all that kind of stuff, it's all going good, but today I kind of wanted to talk about something that nobody's really talking about, for good reason in a way, but yeah. Is the movie going to be good? Now, of course, there's always that kind of fear, okay, the movie's not going to be that good and all that kind of stuff, yeah, but still, I just kind of wanted to talk about my own thoughts and fears on the Five Nights at Freddy's movie. Sorry if I'm mumbling a bit, I don't want anybody to hear me if they can. Anyways, let's start off. So, what exactly are my fears for the Five Nights at Freddy's movie? Well, to put it quite simply, my biggest fears are for the characters. So, this video was inspired by people like Not Real Name, Not At All, and I think Demuted. I'm pretty sure that's how you say the name. Anyways, their videos have been kind of going into retrospectively looking at some of the characters, like the puppet, Henry, Baby, and all that kind of stuff, and Michael. And while I don't agree with what they all have to say in some ways, like especially Henry, but other ones, I do believe they have a point in what they say about those characters. And the thing is, I'm afraid that the same mistakes that were made in the series are going to be made for the... No. I'm afraid that what happened with those characters may happen with them in the movie. So what do I mean by this? Well, the main point that has been made in a lot of these is that, in a lot of the videos, is that because of the introduction of the Afton family, a lot of characters had been overshadowed and others had been pretty much, underutilized and all that kind of stuff. Characters like the puppet and Elizabeth Afton or Circus Baby were pretty much missed opportunities, and even characters like Ennard. Now, I'm not really going to go into my personal thoughts of that, but I do believe that there was a point to be made there, and really my big fear is that that may happen in the movie. Now, of course, my initial fear of it was that they were going to do the exact same thing that they did in the games with those characters, but that's not true. Since it is a movie, characters need more kind of characterization. So I know they're not going to be one note, and I know some characters, especially maybe even the puppet, are going to have more of a bigger role in the movie and maybe even in the series. But it's still my biggest fear that because William Afton is a character, he may overshadow other possible antagonists. And I think that may or may not happen with characters like Circus Baby and Ennard. Well, not really Ennard, but you'll know what I'm talking about. So, with Baby, her whole thing was that she started off as a pretty cool character, she was cunning, scary, and sadistic. Her whole goal was pretty much tricking you in order to later kill you and escape. Sorry, I just popped my back. But yeah, that was her whole goal. And hold on one second. That's something. Okay. Anyways, someone's having a conversation in the background. Anyways, so the thing about her was that it was a bit of a missed opportunity since she went from that to Afton's lackey and pretty much later wanting to become her successor in Five Nights at Freddy's, Five Nights at Freddy's 6. And there was also a point made in the video where she, in the other, media outside the books, not the games, other media outside the games, she pretty much became Afton's like sidekick, like his and all that kind of stuff. And I don't really think that that's going to happen as much. Well, no, I have a fear that that actually is going to happen a bit, and I don't want that to happen. Basically, I think that Circus Baby could have a better opportunity in the movie, but I'm afraid that she is going to get reduced. That voice crack, that was bad. That she is going to get reduced to Afton's lackey in it. That she's basically just going to become his sidekick and, not really have a better chance to shine. As for Ennard, my fear is somewhat similar. Not Afton, Ennard, his whole thing is that, he's pretty much a mess of tangled wires, all that kind of stuff, and he's a combination of all the Funtime animatronics in one. And I think I think he's actually going to be utilized really well in the movie, to be fair, because, he has that sort of, I'm going to rip your face off energy, I'm going to tear you in half and kill you kind of energy. And I don't think Blumhouse or any studio would ever waste that. And in case you guys were wondering, yes, that was a J. Gems reference. But yeah, then there's characters who like Henry or Puppet. Charlie. Well, depending on who you believe the puppet is at this point. Yeah, I think that they could have some issues there as well. Puppet was oh crap. The puppet was pretty much the puppet was pretty much the not the main character. She was the main person who was fighting against Afton, but she kind of got tossed to the wayside a bit. And Henry, he really didn't have any characterization at all until the final game, and really, is as evident by Not Real Name, Not at All's video on him. Really, what he did during that time and the kind of person he was is left to the imagination. I didn't want to get into my personal thoughts, but to me, he wasn't a bad guy. Or necessarily, he wasn't as bad as people would probably think. To me, the worst thing he probably did was enabling Afton, and when Afton, started killing, then he did nothing about it. And that's pretty much kind of what makes FNaF 6 it better in a way. That, it's his redemption for pretty much righting the wrongs of what he had always done. And yeah, so that's pretty much my initial fear on the characters, because that's the thing I fear is going to happen the most with at least Baby and some other characters, that they're pretty much, going to be overshadowed by others. And there's still going to be better characters, at least I hope so, because for one, Scott's not the only person who's writing the movie, and two, it's a movie. It's not the same as a video game, and, they're going to have a lot more, chances to pretty much flesh them out, but still. And I'm just going to use the time now to pretty much talk about some other stuff I'm worried about, like, for one, is the jump scare thing. FNaF is pretty much built on jump scares. That's like pretty much the thing, it's pretty much like a powder keg of the game, the way the game works. You're working and all that kind of stuff. It pretty much builds up anxiety until, either you win and, you're pretty much building up more anxiety along the way, or you just get a jump scare and it's all released. My God, my voice is cracking so much right now. Don't do like a voice crack counter, please. But anyways, with that, I think that my biggest fear is that it may rely too heavily on jump scares. Now, to be fair, a lot of bad movies are known to do that, and a lot of good movies don't necessarily have to do that. They don't really rely on jump scares. But that's kind of my thing, that it may do the thing of FNaF 3 where jump scares were so prevalent that it wasn't really scary. It ended up kind of being a bit it didn't have that same scare factor, because your anxiety was released way, to the point where your anxiety was released, so quickly and so at such a large amount that, you quickly got used to it. And I fear that the over-reliance on jump scares, and maybe even cheap jump scares, may happen in the movie. But yeah, I mean, other than that, I'm not really too worried, other than a couple of nitpicks I've heard, and not only heard, but I've had in mind here and there, but nothing really, like, worth talking about. And, yeah. But really, another big fear of mine is pretty much what this is gonna do to the fandom. Okay, so if you've been in the fandom for the past few years, or at least, the very least, the last year, you know things have not been good. I mean, the Fazbear fanverse alone, was whoa. But to me, at least, this movie is going to be huge. Not necessarily like, it's going to be like the biggest event of the year or anything like that. No, but this is going to be a big event for the entire fandom. Like, this is a movie we've been waiting for 7 years. This is a video game movie. This is a movie that, a fandom themselves are, kind of not getting, but you know what I mean. And I'm worried because if the movie does bad, then I'm not saying it's going to kill the fandom, but it may do catastrophically, like, to the fandom. Because thing is that, like I said, we've been not only been waiting for this, but in a way, this is kind of a way to do right to the series. I mean, FNaF's story is not as good as we used to think it is, looking at it retrospectively and all that, and sorry. Yeah. So maybe this is a chance to pretty much not only like confirm events and probably get not only established timeline for all, like, MatPat and all the theorists out there, but also pretty much to, do right by the characters, do right by the games and all that kind of stuff, deliver justice pretty much. And I'm not saying this can fix the fandom, and I'm not really trying to say it's trying to destroy it either. I mean, FNaF has survived a lot over the years. I mean, our fandoms have always been toxic in a way, and like, we've been through a lot. We've been through, the worst few years that the fandom has ever been in, arguably, and we're still trucking. We're making the best of out of the situation we have now. But I just fear that this either is going to do damage, really big damage to what we have of the fandom, and or, it could probably not fix the fandom, but make it better. And yeah, I know that's holding the movie to a bigger standard than it probably needs, and I don't like doing that. I don't like doing that, believe me, I don't, but I just feel like that sort of thing needs to be said. But other than that, honestly, I am somewhat excited for the movie, but the thing is that me personally, I don't know if I'm gonna really watch it in theaters. I mean, main thing is that movie tickets are expensive, so But anyways, that's it. I know I didn't really outline my thoughts well. That was because, this is unscripted. This was pretty much impromptu. Me thinking my raw thoughts. So let me know what you guys think. Do you guys agree with me? Do you guys have any other... I hate my voice cracking right now. Like, I'm trying to speak in a low voice. That's why it's cracking so much. But I don't know. Like, what do you guys think? Do you guys think that, do you guys have fears of the movie of your own? Do you guys think it's going to be good? Do you guys, think that what I talked about won't happen or what? I don't know. Let me know what you guys think.